Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's me, Tasha C. And in this particular video, I will be reviewing, yes, the return of Scandal Season 3, Episode 11 is your first time watching. If you'd like to see, don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, comment, rate and like the same thing. But and share if you can, like if you can share this video if you can. Also, bear with me now, because we all know, most of us who are all Scandals fans, yeah, it's a great show, but there's a lot to follow in the 40-something minutes duration altogether, this thing. So, bear, I'm just going to do the best I can, and whatever, then I got to turn around and do the mirror, maybe I like to say, shout out to all my YouTube fam, and all my love subscribe. Thank you all, I appreciate all the love, you all subscribe, thank you all, y'all. But let's get into this. Now, of course, they had to start with the bang. Olivia's mom did not make an appearance this particular episode, but of course, we find out in the first scene. Like I said, I'm a random person, so I'm just gonna be scattered. But let's start at least with the intro first, and we see that Millie, of course, she's always panicking and she runs and power walks stuff across the whole damn White House, White House, right? And she runs and she's telling them like, I think to Cyrus and Fizz that still Miss Shally, also I like to call her Miss Church Lady. If y'all remember that on Saturday Night Live with Dana, I think what was it? Dana Carvey Webb, comedian. He used to play Miss Church Lady on Saturday Night Live. So that's what I mean by Shally, also known as Miss Church Lady #2. Is that special? So she is still, despite because in her terms later on, her excuse is still that she believes it's the devil that got into her, is if she became possessed, and it is not her. She's trying to justify it was not in her thing that caused her to kill her husband. So she took this as an opportunity to still run. Not only she's going to still run, but she's also going to still carry out to the remaining amount of this term to be the vice president. Okay, so once Vincent hears about this, of course he's pissed off. He back again drinking, probably on a 7 or 8 drink, or probably a straight or scotch or whatever his drink of choice is. And of course he's throwing glasses and stuff like that. But before that scene, when that's about his new campaign manager again, we see Liv and Fizz, making out, and Millie always counts when she actually should talk to Cyrus, y'all. Then she talked to them. So, but as soon as they heard the news about her, and because they were waiting for the announcement and waiting for the poll numbers and stuff like that, and that's when they found out about her running. As soon as we heard that statement about she was still gonna be, well, this show's called Scandal, so it mostly be gonna be scandal stuff, right? So that's what's going on, okay? Now, let's get James out. If I can, I'll just try to go not through all the characters with it. Now let's try to James out of the way. James, I don't know. It kind of like, I don't know. I'm not saying this may not end well. I'm just saying he just keeps. He's the press manager or something. He does like the press conference and stuff like that. Of course, Cyrus, their deal was after all what happened about 2 months ago. He gave a press job and supposedly they're working on their marriage and back to normal, if you want to describe that. And so, y'all, he's trying to, what you want me to say, stuff like that, whatever. So when they go on, he wants what to say as far as a statement and waiting what to say and everything else. And then at the same time, here's what another Asian highlights. There's somebody in the press that works in the office, somewhere in the office, something has to do with the journalistic part or whatever. That's sitting pew this week. Somebody is texting this particular lady to ask about where happened in Daniel's autopsy. Why there was never no autopsy of his of his death, even though they claim he had a heart attack. It was called Miss Church Lady sitting here and say, "Rebuke you, devil, and I will stab you." Blah blah blah. Okay, because once her reputation was on the line, and also her stuff like that, she's trying to justify also that of him dying, he's the one going to hell. Okay, next. Okay, so like I said, now since with the running mate, and she realized she's still going to backstab them all, they gotta find another vice president. Already, Vince now has gotten to the point. He got this one dude named Andrew, I think Nicholas or something. Let's just call him by Andrew. He's particularly, I think, a governor or something already, or wherever he is, he's already, of course, in the political area and department, at least ran for a governor or something. And he's worked with Vince before, and he's like, of course, everybody kind of looking around, got lived and got people stuff. They're thinking like, you shouldn't be doing. Are you sure you want to be doing this? And of course, Fizz, when he gets in his anger, like I said, he just went from almost about to bang the live on the Oval Office desk again to now all of a sudden wanted to basically just mad as hell at everybody, because now he's like, I can trust this dude, blah blah blah, whatever. He's been loyal to me. I worked with him before. I'm just saying when I'll get to that a little later on about what I'm saying. Okay, so. This dude, they do run him and stuff like that. And he's one of those dudes that's kind of like, almost like he's a playboy in terms of, has a clean record, ain't nothing crooked or nothing to the naked eye for everyone to see that, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like, okay, he already has a reputation of being a playboy. He's dating, there's at least 3 different type of models, supermodel, runway, bikini, and so he says 4 illustrated, whatever you want to call it. And, he's dated a couple celebrity women, but he's not married, so it's kind of like, some people may question that, and they just don't go on it. Also, we have the issue where Liv ends up going to see her, still meet with her dad one time, right? She knew where to meet him at, because we all know he got fired, because now the president called the shot, and Jake, I think he also put Jake in that position, as he said in his own words later on to Liv, about, now he's already killed on command 300 people, innocent lives, people, right? And then after freeing, we turn out to be Liv's mom is on some other stuff too, okay? And she killed 3 people when Liv was trying to help her, and she went to the streams and present all locking up, kidnapping her, you might as well keeping her dad, and arrested him, and well, we'll get into that in a second. But basically, because of those actions, his 3 more people. So he's basically like, the only thing is someone making rape rights, and also Jake will keep, that all that stuff in those records down, if you know what I mean, that happened around that time about him, because he also knows the same stuff about him, or a lot of stuff about him, that they want to keep hitting under the ground and buried as far as secrets and stuff and actions too, but he just wants to keep everything covered up. I mean, that's what I got from it. And so anyways, sorry, like I said, I'm just scanning with the notes. So anyways, like I said, we're still trying with our autopsy. So here's the thing here. Of course, Sally's got that post. I do not know what his name is, but he's kind of like, he on the same level as Liv. He's horrible. He don't play. He ain't playing. He playing chess. He ain't playing checkers type of dude. Okay. So when they were on this news, or they were on some type of, I don't know, it was a type of debate or type of a show, and they have Abby representing, of course, Fizz, or lives in the mill company, whatever. Well, really Fizz, because she's on their side. Of course, he's representing Sally. And this is where the Harvard came. They're going back and forth, but then he's talking about, what about the fact, that Fizz allegedly was with Olivia Pope, and Abby was expecting that, that question. So she's just like, well, that been put in rumors, she was kind of, that was put to rest about months ago. And he's like, that's best as you get, because so now, because she was like, I guess that around that time, I don't know if it was actually at the news station later on, because she was like, already been put to rest, but he's like, well, you know what? That doesn't mean just because, that particular time, it may not have been hurt, but what about people? See, even just that being put back up, and Abby wasn't expected to be compared to even just the answer was, again, the paparazzi is already on this, like, And so it goes back, and already they are back screwing it, so that doesn't even make it better, okay? He already showed her the Vermont house, so we all remember that scene. So that's what's going on. I don't think they really show Huck or whatever neither this episode. No, they did a little. Yeah, they did. So here's one of the things also. Now, of course, Liv wants to pull on Sally after hearing this information, and we hear it, and of course, James had to be the one to calm down. Was like, oh no, this already been put to rest. He already, of course, did, and one of the press conference again put to rest about the affair, and then that's one of the journalists or whatever was given published or whatever who's texting her about this information, asks the question about the I think about the autopsy stuff like that. And of course James sounds about, so he's trying to ask, of course, Cyrus, like, what are we going to do? What should I say? And of course Cyrus is like, just let the vice president stuff deal with that situation. Don't even worry about it. Because here's the problem. Of course, Cyrus already came to Sally about the situation, but Sally, of course, let it be known. But see, here's the problem. Now, the recording that David actually received from that lady, I don't know who actually recorded the conversation in the first place. That's still up in arms. But the thing is, it is out. And that means that, sorry, I got a cough. That means that in this case, Sally may be in jeopardy, that's what Shimano is, but unfortunately, so is Cyrus. So they both can be put down because he covered up a murder. I don't care what guilt trip what is or what not. When she up there sat there and called him despite the other stuff, he could let the bitch. He felt so guilty about how it went down. Okay, I know I'm jumping back an episode, but that's pretty much how it is right now. Okay, so she let him know that now they're trying to cover it up, and especially him and Millie, whatever, because now it turns out even when he a couple times you have the Sally's Miss Church ladies publicly keep bothering him and stuff like that. Like he already knows. She's already told him about that thing. So with him even thinking like, say he has something that he can use against him, no, it can bury him as well. So now he's trying to cover it up because Liv, of course, wants to make sure she gets this out in the open about, because, about we hearing around about what happened to supposedly Sally's autopsy. Of course, she got the gladiators remaining ones because, Quinn is have this whatever so-called relationship with Charlie now, okay, and staying with him at the moment, still. So she ended up, like I said, getting some information about, I guess, the person who filed the autopsy or something like that. People, some in the medical field that has something to do with reporting medical information, and it has to do with him as well. And like I said, she wants to scoot up. So of course Cyrus decides to call Charlie, who already him and Quinn are already thinking about, because even though Jake has met with Charlie stuff like that, Jake has already let it be known that don't do anything. First Charlie tried to pretend like he didn't know who Quinn was, and he's like, make sure you don't do nothing to her, stuff like that. Charlie say, oh, she's a sweet kid, whatever the case is, I'm just helping her out. Yeah, we all see how that went down. But that's how that it is. But he's claiming like, oh, we're cool, whatever, nothing's wrong. But because of Jake being over everything, that changes probably some of their assignments. Or unless he gets like side calls, which they end up doing. Like I say, Cyrus called him again, and the mission is they kidnap. Quinn follows this boy from school. They know the information. She knows information about some information about his sister or some girl that he knows. So she was able to basically convince him to get in the car, and they basically kidnapped this boy. And I'm wondering, what the hope they ain't about to mess and kill some babies. No, I'm just saying. Our person was like, where is this going here? So we also have another interesting thing. Now, when Olivia went to go meet to the park, which I kind of got off that subject earlier, when she went to Mr. I like to call Papa, you messing with the monster, you mess with your Papa Pope, in the park, and she just was still in the way realizing that all this time I hated you, and you basically trying to protect me, one of them type of speeches and stuff like that, and then they get into the whole thing with talking about like what's the subject about, but then it jumps somehow to talking about Fizz a little bit, and you think people and stuff like that, and then Papa also just let him know, like, you think you don't have no idea, okay? He sat there basically arrested me, told me how you taste, everything else, and all this other stuff, whatever the case is, and I know where everybody's been buried in Facebook's actions and stuff like that. You should be buried, you should run, okay? Because he ain't gonna make it to last term, okay? He's gonna be basically erased, is how he's saying that. He's basically letting you know, like, he think he running shit. No, he's not. Okay, he's not gonna. He ain't gonna be there. He gonna go bye bye. Okay, all right, bye bye. All right. He's already letting him know, like, get that black dress out. Get the Kleenex and everything. Get your grieving ready and stuff like that. 'Cause you better run when what the hell's about to happen. Okay, Olivia's dad, which is not surprised, not gonna go by the fight, but it was just. In my short terms, what he was basically saying, like, Liv was like, you're not going to, but he's just like, basically, yes, I am. Whatever's going to do is not going to be pretty, okay? So he ain't bring sword to the gunfight. Okay, I mean I'm just saying he coming here fully blasted. All right. So here's a quick thing. Abby kind of was there, but it wasn't there. But see, David was there, but was more so talking in terms of James. James again, what David had found out, it was matching up when he heard the recording, and now all of a sudden, James is like, I'm not interested. Okay, they meet one time, and James is like, when I tried to come to you a month ago, you didn't want to deal with me, whatever the case is, and I tried to tell you the story. So, zip now. And David first tried to make feel guilty, like, you know what? Just because your husband got you a great job in the White House and blah blah blah, whatever, now saying you want to be this way, you're dancing with the devil, something like that was said, right? So he's like, well then that's okay, and didn't he do the same thing for you? Then walks off. And so after James kind of like figured out, put two together, because he, like I said, he was already doing one of his little investigating into the story type of things. And he was just talking to Cyrus, like I said, what to say about this whole top thing. For Cyrus, it's kind of brushing off, say everything's okay, I'll take care of it. So, other words, later on, it turns out when he's talking to, I think, the dude about the whole situation, and because again, it was about 2 or 3 times that he's sitting talking smack, like, I can't wait to change his office, you need to change this and this, and send Cyrus off and stuff like that. The last time they talked in this episode, they were bringing up about, basically about really the whole thing that really happened down with Danielle. Daniel. I don't know why I said Danielle. Sorry, y'all. I just Daniel. And it turns out James, it was a picture of the James and Cyrus Star, right? And James, and when we hear it, it turns out he put a little microphone in the little digital frame that it had, the picture frame. And then he basically was telling David now, like, I married a monster, stuff like that. He basically needs to go down. And, stuff like that. My husband's a mercy, blah, blah, blah. But David said like this. So I don't know how they're going to play this out on this angle. David said like this. They obviously are in an area where if a person gets recorded, unless they know they legally recorded, this is not going to work on terms anyway. But, James now wants to, I guess, take down his husband again. Because we already know what happened with the whole voting Ohio with Defiance. What was the name of that town? Defiance. We all know he was kind of like all that stuff that happened then. So this, So, besides that, well, of course we had to get rid of, we see something in the paper, look like, of course, Vince is having, I don't know why I keep trying to call him Vince. Vince is having Google eyes for Kerry, and that's one of the, I think, stars or People magazines. And then, we're still trying to get this affair possible thing out the way. So, Cyrus, of course, Millie have one of their random talks. And, just like Cyrus has to fix something, Millie has to fix something too. So, Millie calls for this fake thing that her and Liv are out, ha 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 ha, laughing stuff. And she even got nervous, Millie was even saying, now you sit down now, I'll say something like drinking wine to whore. But she said something along the lines, I know she said whore. I heard that. And you got all these press people, Liv all seen press people, and by that time, she slipped her, basically, y'all, with a list and stuff like this, and slid to her. This is a list of eligible bachelors that you be choosing from, because she's basically saying, like, well, people ain't gonna think, like, I'm just being friends, being cool with somebody that my husband's basically sleeping with, or, he basically, they're not going to think, this probably cover up the fact that you're a sideline hoe and you're a raggedy ass bitch, you're a cum buster, or whatever else she probably really wanted to say on national TV. As far as her character. So, that's how pretty much, they're just pretending, laughing and stuff like that. Mill's taking a couple of shots. And, Liv was just like, because she was saying, like, what in the heck are we doing? She's just like, she's letting know, let's just pretend. We all know how Millie is about research stuff. She already has to keep letting us know, like, of course, she's even told her, she's trying to make sure she stays. She's worked hard. We all know what the hell happened. Like I said, she sacrificed herself for How to Catch a Predator's ass with, what Fitz dad and shit, his ass. And we see how the hell this is going down. So, I hope y'all not missing for. I'm trying my best, y'all. I really am trying my best. So, anyway, when we're going that back and forth, let's go from this angle, y'all. So, do y'all remember Harrison with this person? Now, I thought, Nadia, whatever. Whoever this person is a dangerous mofo, okay? They sent Harrison. Now they already got a VCR. Had David go search and call. First, David was talking about, no, I ain't gonna do it, but he did search and call. It turns out this person that was able to get visa in those highest places, whatever. Whoever this Harrison is scared as hell. He's trying to steal Abby's gun and everything. Abby's like, well, what is wrong? Are you, what do you need the gun for? And he's like, he showed her the business picture that was kind of shown previously, right? And he's just like, you know what? Okay, let me break it down to you. Okay, this picture, everybody went on this business trip with some business that went down. Everybody else's picture is dead. Okay, and she's like, "Said warning those problems." She was like, "Okay, make sure you shoot this here. You do know how to show a gun. I don't want you to be shooting your penis off and stuff like that." He's like, "I know how to use a gun." And then the person I first saw from the distance, it was the same lady we seen like 1 or 2 episodes ago, and they gave information about Don, whatever the person coming back is. I don't know why I thought the name was unisex, but I was surprised to find out it was as beautiful as stuff. This lady, Black Widow, I don't know what it was, but I'm just saying, like, she's not to be fucking played with. Because she's just this beautiful woman sitting here, and already he pulled a gun on her, but you already tell might be some sexual tension, or they probably screwed on a regular basis, but she's a dangerous motherfucker, okay? Okay. Dirty Diana, we'll call it. Okay, so anyways, he's like, don't maybe use this gun on you. And she's just like, no, I whatever the hell. This next thing I know, they tear her close. He first, she's trying to pull away, and then 2 seconds later, I think I blinked my eyes, and next minute they there about to put right on the desk. Okay, end scene. So we're about to hear more stories about this person, but I don't know why I didn't expect the beautiful panty hair looking woman. That was just not smart, but I mean that makes it even more dangerous because the fact it's like that was the person you were afraid of. Oh, she's not be playing with y'all. Ooh, okay. What's her little smile? I'm just playing. I'm just saying. Ooh, but anyways, so besides that stuff going on, right? We got Harrison down. So when Huck and Abby, with her new curls, are going to pay a visit to this woman I talked about earlier, with the medical information, or she was about to put an article in, and they're trying to investigate about this autopsy thing, Daniels, right? Or other words, like Sally had to say, to her publicist later on, it was the devil, it wasn't me. It was the devil who put this in. It was not me. I'm sanctified, everything. I'm covered in holy water. It is not me. But I swear to God, it was not me, okay? Ugh. That's that woman that plays the part, because I mean, she is not the character she played. They play the hell out of all these roles. I just want to say everyone who plays in there. That's how good the person in the show. I know that's off topic, but sorry, that's just how the way I am. But anyways, y'all. So she later on. So when they're it turns out this little boy, you got Quinn and Charlie in the corner, and behind, some area, just got the hand over the baby's mouth. He ain't baby, but he's like at least maybe 8 or 9 years old, something like that. And when mom talks to him, because first she wasn't gonna tell him any information, but I guess they knew it was a chance, knowing how much Charlie knows Hook and everything else of that nature. So they slid. Hook just didn't do stuff. She first said, "Oh, I don't know anything," blah blah blah, something like that, right? Or everything's coming, I put in, there's the truth that he did die of a heart attack, something like that around the lines. And there go Huck information, and it was something I was brought about. They Huck or them saying something about back in the day, her boyfriend had some illegal substance, and she had something to do with something that could have made her record look really, really bad, or as far as reputation, something that she don't want to be out, to her employer. And she just like this. Well, he ended up he fell on his head on the toilet and ended up his brain had ended up breathing, or had some type of hemorrhage or something like. And that's truly how he had died, or he was drinking or something like that, and he falls and fell on his head, something along those lines. But we all know that's not how the hell it happened. The reason why she said that 2 seconds later, like I said, was Quinn. Quinn is sitting right next to the child, and Charlie, is behind, holding the child's mouth. And so basically, they went over there and was basically indirectly threatened if she says anything. I guess they were gonna do something to the boy. And she was like, "Where's my son?" And he was hugging him. So Charles was like, "Good job, you found everything." So that's pretty much with that one. Also, like I said, we already knew about how Liv had asked Liv, again went to later on, I can't be in this thing and blah blah blah, because about after going to the so-called fake ass the lunch with DeMillie. And again, we have the same speech. No, I can't live where I can't live without they kiss. No, she's pushing away. He's like, you're not going to leave me this time. one of them type of speeches. And because she found out from Cyrus earlier, that's how she found out Jake was new commander B613 was through him. And then she just like, oh heck no, because she already had the mind like, why'd you put Jake over the thing? And that's when he explained earlier it's because about all what he did and even trying to save her mom, that was one of those things. So it ended up first, he thought she was going to leave, but she's like, no, I'll come back tomorrow. I guess she needed a break. So Jake ends up coming over her house, and she just kind of was wondering about, him, with that position, after him taking that position and stuff like that. And I did notice under her breath, she said some comment like, this is so far, I'm getting so far away from Vermont, the house. And he's just like, huh? But yeah. So, but she comes to the thing about being paid, one of these speeches like being patriotic and stuff like that and stuff of that nature. Are you patriotic? Or basically, you in this thing, in this position now, stuff like that. You know how she's already, I don't exactly remember everything we heard Jake was saying, but let's just do my short terms. In the end, he ends up helping her, because the next day you see the pictures that now, and I think they showed the pictures of them kissing whatever in the park. Now suddenly that's shown that Jake is with her supposedly. So that, of course, that even throws him less off the radar. And so after that, now we're at this press conference, whatever, and so far we're seeing that, like I said, well, before then, pay attention what I'm about to say, because it kind of goes with this last part I told you about. So she's doing an interview with Andrew, because even that same time, right afterwards, when she goes meet with Fizz, but she's talking about Andrew's not the right guy, and I have my right feeling that he's not the right guy, and we probably already know why that is, But because Fizz supposed to argue down, that's when they kiss. No. I just talked about it. Forgot to add that in. So she does this little interview thing as a big camcorder, because she's trying to get out of him, like, why is he a bachelor? And he talks about all the women he dated, blah, 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 and why he never married, and what's going on, your mama's boy gay, or blah, 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 you don't believe in monogamy, what is your problem? And then he admitted, he was like, you know what, I had the advantage of getting married, and I regretted it, but maybe might go before, but I end up marrying my career, one of them type of statements, so that's how that is. Now let's see how this carries over. Maybe to watch had a gut feeling, and then this parents' conference, I guess, like Andrew's going to be running with Fizz for the vice presidency. So all of a sudden, you got little conference and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And then, all of a sudden, here this goes. Okay? All of a sudden, you got Millie right next to Andrew, right? And he was just like, I wished I had a chance again so we could be together again. And that's pretty much how it ends on that note. But it's one more little thing. Now, I guess Sally, right, they having this conference, and her publisher saying, like, they got some leak or something that can help them, somebody can help them out. And, of course, is Papa Pope. He's up here meeting somewhere, outside, somewhere probably near, in the park somewhere, about this, because remember, he already told Liv, you're about to go down, you better hide somewhere, hide yourself. So, that's pretty much how the end, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know I didn't go over everything. I probably was going to about just cover most of the highlights. I hope y'all enjoy the review. I'll see y'all next video. Have a pleasant week, pleasant night, pleasant weekend. And y'all all take care. Love y'all. See y'all next one.